If there was never anyone you could call a father, would you say that your relationship with your kids would still be the same?
Sure. That's deep. That's deep.
For me, like, if I didn't have a dad, what's manje? It's all assumption, I guess, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I would say, not having a dad is also like a really great motivator to be a good dad. You know what I mean? Like, I could never give you an excuse which you're not a father because you didn't have one. I think that if you ever felt that void in you should actually, try and be more. But obviously some things break some people, hence why we can never point fingers. But for me, being the person I am, I do credit it to my dad. Would I be the same person? Definitely not. But I wouldn't say that I would be a worse dad. I probably would have tried to compensate. Or I don't know how that would have played out. But what I just want to highlight is Lento would say I think it's a good motivator to be a great dad.
Yeah.
I didn't have one. Never.
Okay.
Yeah.
I asked my dad that question. Because he grew up without his father.
Oh.
So because he once asked us, Uti, what is the one thing that we would change or say or criticize about him being a father? And we were like, it was time. But then we got to ask him, Uti, how is it? Or he got to explain to us about his father. And then we asked him, it's okay, but so why did you decide to be a good father? He's like, because he knows how it is not to have a father.
Wow.
I think that would then, in essence, sort of counteract Uti. You grew up knowing how it is that your dad is there, but he's not there. You don't want your offspring, which is a part of you, which is you, to grow up without that.
Yeah.
I think that would be the driver. Obviously, you're right. It's based on assumptions, but I think that would be the driving factor. Because I didn't want. I know how other kids are, and they speak about their dads and stuff like that. I don't want mine going through that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think it's also Minaga personally. I don't think on any situation, not being a dad alone, to say that your past prohibits you from becoming this person, or I think it's just an excuse more than anything.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So if you're about what you're about, or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? I think you can come from a very bad background and become, the greatest person in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
And it's happened a lot.
yeah, it's happened a lot. So
they can do it. So.
I don't think we should even consider that, to say how it has made us to become the fathers that we have. It shouldn't really.
Okay, Luyanda, you. I would say that your situation is similar to most South African men, where you are no longer together with the mother of your child. How do you still stay present in your child's life, even though you are not under the same roof, if I may call it that? So what would your advice be to another father in order to make sure that they are always present in their child's life?
When we broke up, that's when I actually saw the fruits of what we've been speaking about earlier, and just allowing accessibility of Inganyako to your life and being there and time, because there was a time where we were just like arguing about everything. We just couldn't have a decent conversation, whether it's that could actually spark a tsunami. And so finally when we broke up, I was in a different province, and it's very common abantu at the Besandana to actually be like, yo, fella, I don't need to call him if he's not calling his baby, like, you know what I'm saying? So I think my daughter, what made it easy for me is that my daughter would straight up call me, like, she would be like, "Mom, no baba," and everything must stop, and now even if ukuluma to go past her mom, but I think my daughter was just like, she was just out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, on a conversation, would be like, but Baba, I'm now for 2 days. And be like, oh, okay. So that's a problem. And you know, and I think, well, the breaking up is in this is the price. That is sort of like the battle. This is the war. The war is still on, and I can't let that interfere with this, you know, because that has not changed. That has not changed. And what is just changed in my expectations, you know, which is quite common, because when people date, we always have expectations, and whenever those do not materialize, which is not such a bad thing, you know, separating is good if you don't have the same vision, but it's just that we take things emotionally, and I really believe that if you really have a strong bond with your kid from the moment he's out, that's a very good something that through that and to maintain in the relationship, because it was strong. But if you mean that was strong anyway, you feel like the whole source of that relationship has just fizzled out, you know? Yeah. Shout out to my daughter.
That's actually very good. Okay, now to the other Luyanda, guys. It's a Kuyanda namhlanje. Luyanda, Bayanda. Actually, I guess if you want a responsible dad, you should just name your child Luyanda.
Bayanda. I know.
If you're pregnant, I've just given you baby name suggestions. Okay, so Luyanda, I think one can say that you come from a perfect family. Like, there was mom, there was dad, in inverted commas, perfect family. In the sense that, okay, my mom was there, my dad was there, my parents were married. Do you feel, just be honest, do you feel as if that has maybe made your journey easy? Or are we assuming that if someone comes from, like I said, a perfect family, then their journey is easy? Is it an assumption, or do you really feel like that?
It's tricky, because I don't know any other, you see. So, I mean, that's why even the term perfect to me, because I know a lot of flaws or things that happened in our situation, you understand? Even in the family, there's a lot of cracks, but I think it is much better, because you've got both support systems right here. I was trying to explain to a friend of mine that I would want my dad to have more time or to be able to like go to us and to come to our soccer games or whatever like that. And his response was, "Dog, I can't relate, because I would just want a dad." You understand? So it is. I feel like it is, because I would see it not perfect, but to somebody else it is perfect. It's an advantage to have both parents around. Not everybody is blessed with it, but I feel like it is an advantage, and hence I strive to make sure that's how it remains, even with the baby. And with us in Japan, you know, that's what you need to give to the kid. Can it work without that? It does work, because I mean that's what we get faced with in life these days. There's a lot of co-parenting. Funny, couples actually become good friends even after separating, and they co-parent in a beautiful way. I experience it as well, even going through my siblings as well. But it's worked wonders.
Wow. Yeah. Guys, I'm learning a lot today. Hey, thank you. I'm learning so much, and I think, for a lack of a better word, I would say pressure. The pressure that you guys put yourself through or under once there's a child. It's something that I never really thought that men do. You just think, this guy's Bazini. I'm the one who brought this person into the earth. So I'm really learning a lot, and I'm having a lot of change of perspective. So I hope you're also learning at home today. But for me, it has been quite a breakthrough. Bayanda, I can basically say that you're raising a blended family, if I may call it a blended family. How do you balance the time between all kids? or how do you? Yeah, I think I'll say that. How do you balance the time between all of your kids? Because now there is this blended household.
Sorry, just before you answer, can you just please elaborate on what does blended mean?
Yeah.
I'll explain.
Does it not have to do with a bit of the mixed culture, the blended?
No, it's
What is-
blended in a sense that even Uyo, Nwaba and I, what we have is
Blended,
a blended family.
Yeah.
Because you have a child from a previous relationship in that sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what's the
Yeah.
blend.
Yes,
What
yes.
are the
so
dynamics?
The dynamics are, there's quite a lot when it comes to that. Like one of my biggest current dynamics is like the kids are 7. And you know, I would have loved them to speak isiZulu by that time, but it's impossible for them to do that. The second one being, obviously, we are all staying around Joburg, so our parenting plan is Tuesday. It was I'll see them Wednesday, Thursdays, every second weekend. You know, that's the contract we have on the parenting plan. But then she didn't to relocate and move to Cape Town, which kills my my Wednesday and every second weekend, which is not enough to even do that. So it's like now it's lockdown. It's even worse. The last time I saw them was December when we spent the holidays in December. So there are all like other elements, and then you video calling 7-year-olds and they watching sports, and you know you are feeling emotional. You want to talk about other things, and you know you just don't get that. It's just not enough. You know what I'm saying? But you are also expected to just do what is normal, and it's quite a lot. And it comes to communication, it comes to then you know, raising men in a woman only environment, and you are there but you can't be there in that particular time. So I try by all means that when we're together it's us, and it's a whole lot of us, you know. So but it's never enough. I can tell you that. But the time is more structured when I know that I'm gonna have them for the 4 weeks of holidays. And you know, there's Durban, Siakoko, and then all of those things. But I also feel that they then get just the party time kind of element. So you know, it's all those balances that you try to say, you know, these are the important things that you want to have for your kids. That my current partner now, auntie, you know, they love her. They've got a dope relationship with her. They're understanding their sister that they were calling their cousin. So they've got that.
So they were calling her cousin.
No,
it's just like they couldn't
dynamics they couldn't understand because it's not
how
from the mother.
Yes, but the same father. So there's also those elements, you know. But it's it's all of those things that you know that I can't control actually.
And thank you so much for that. And I feel like that's going to be another culture of ours, if I may call it that, because like I said, my husband and I are in a very similar situation. And like you said that you now have to try and make them understand that this is actually your sister and not your cousin, but at the same time you don't want to be forceful
towards that.
You don't want to be forceful towards that you need to have this relationship because this person is your sister. So it's very, even from that auntie, mother, you also don't want to be forceful into saying, well, I'm also the other mom. So it's very different. And I just want to maybe give you a chance as well, Luyanda, because in a way, some way, that's going to be your life too. So
But I think it was a huge disappointment for me at first, because I was raised on that, you know. My mom and dad broke up when I was so young that I can't even remember them together, you know. But I remember my dad coming, but I don't even have an image of my mom and dad together. So it was always different parents, and I think with their relationship it wasn't good, because mind you, every time I was with my dad, I'm with my dad. And every time I'm with my mom, and my mom never calls my dad. I don't recall that, So I come from that, and it's something that both of them always like instilled in me, like, yo, man, now that you have a kid, you really have to make this work. Co-parenting is like this, blah blah blah, and it's scary, my baby Taza, because I know it, and you're gonna try by all means not to go through it. And when you see yourself going through it, you sometimes feel like, anything is wrong with that, but hey, you dealt a deck, and you just have to, play it.
I feel like you're right when you say this is the current age that we're going to be living in. My side of the family, my sibling, my older brother was about to get married with his partner, and they just had a kid at that time as well. So they didn't go ahead with the marriage. So the opinion between my parents was I was actually looking to see how they're going to take it. But in essence, they understood that, my mom still has the hope that they're going to get back together.
They never give up. They never give up.
She's got the hope that they're going to get back together. But my dad was like, you know what? It's fine, because as long as he's going to be there for the kid. The relationship we can't force because of the kid. You can't do that. But as long as you never know what life brings, but it's our new age that we need to live in. I think the best thing is co-parenting and making sure that the kid doesn't suffer.
Definitely.
That's the biggest part.
I think the beauty about co-parenting is, taking the kids out of that toxic environment. Where you guys can't stand each other. Because when your relationship doesn't work, when you are trying by all means, and then the kids are involved there, because the kids come with their own little projects and their own responsibility and their own time from both of you guys who are chasing their own careers, their own hustles and all of those things. So it was maybe cool before the kids were there, or it was whatever, and then you see the kids, and then it's you are just seeing this person becoming someone else, and you are pulling a different direction. So, and there's nothing which is common except for the kids, at the environment. So when you are trying to build this common thing that doesn't exist, it's actually more harmful to the kids than it is the proper thing from different units. You understand?
So
because if you come into this unit, then you get 100% of that, and then you go to that unit, and then you get 100% of the love, and then that's better than a collective unit of 30% whoever is throwing what, with this whole lot of toxic language and all these elements for the kids. Because the kids, they pick up the energy very quickly.
Do you think there is less expectation on fathers? And I want to elaborate a little bit, especially in this social media era that we live in. I've seen that when a father is taking the responsibility, and especially if you are a single dad and you're taking the responsibility and you're doing the best that you can for your child, you seem to be more celebrated, if I may call it that. And I've always asked myself why, because you get single moms or moms that are just doing that on a daily. Is it because we have less expectation from fathers, or what do you think actually makes us have that? Because even from myself, I would want to commend that person, even if I don't know them. I'll be like, wow, this guy. Why do you think we have that? We want to celebrate those people more than the mothers, if I may call it that.
The fathers that are
presently
present.
Yes, that are presently doing a lot. Do you feel like we celebrate them more because in our minds we have less expectations from fathers, or why do you think that is?
I think society has less expectations for fathers. So I think it's also encouraging to celebrate those fathers. Because it's like the mothers do the most. Women are it's like a norm to see a widowed or a single parent, but like from a mom's side, like a single mom, than it is to see a father who was holding the household by themselves. So I think if society celebrates, you know, the single dad, I think it's great. Ukuthi, for them to celebrate, to okay, encourages abantu besilisa to be more present, because predominantly it's like the guys are not there, they're not showing up. And but with also that being said, it's like I feel our generation of fathers are more, you know, kind of like hands-on. We are trying to do a whole lot, but also this co-parenting situation is also, you know, kind of like giving the women so much power to then kind of like play around with those elements, where now it's like how there are guys that are not even trying to show up. You know what I'm saying? But like here's a guy that is trying to show up so many times, and you're just trying hard for the guy who's trying to be there for the kid. And then, like we are saying, I think the common thing that we've said across all of us is like their time, their availability, and that's the common factor, is what we remember. But like the other element is like the financial, the more this and all of those elements, and then there's a disconnect then in that co-parenting and all of those things. So I think the dads should be celebrated if they're showing up and they're doing their thing, if they're present, if they are there, if they if they should, because all of those, because it could be worse.
Okay, wow, this has been such a fruitful conversation, and now we're gonna close it up. And just one last question. Going forward, what would you say we need to do to see a positive change and to see more fathers taking responsibility like what you guys are doing? So just few words or starting from here.
To wrap it up, I think firstly we should stop making excuses and be responsible and stand for our responsibilities. As fathers, be there. Do your utmost best to make sure that you're there. And protect, love, guide, and teach.
Thank you. Protect,
That's
love,
a nice
guide,
one.
and teach. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, with that being said, we'll stick to the be there. I think was very important, because you know they resonate and you know they tie everything down. It's the presence. It's to be present. Is, you know, give time. That's more valuable than
And just like always remember that, you know, your kid is just you. It's like another version of you. It's little you. So I don't understand. I mean, I feel personally to understand, I would say, how could you not look after you again?
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you have a clean underwear crew if you're not looking after you again? It's like, it's, you know, it's another version of yourself, probably better. So yeah, just be there, because Mali and everything can never replace his cat. So iba khona, iba presenting, yeah, and let her know. She must know how you feel about it. Ungazami ukuchaza ngamagama. She must know from the warmth of your attention. I think it's all about just attention together. If you're really attentive and you focus on her, she will know how you feel about her. So yeah, I think if we just get that right, because I find that a lot of fathers love ingane zabo, but they do not give them attention enough. So the kids don't know that. So it's such a pointless thing if I was. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay, wow. Oh guys, thank you so much. Really, I think I really got more than what I expected when I started this conversation. I really got more than what I bargained for. I'm in awe. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking your time and teaching me a few things about fatherhood. Well, not a few, a lot of things actually. And I'm sure a lot of people have learned from you. So yeah, thank you so much. And if you really enjoyed this, guys, please, I know you did, in fact, just give it a massive thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Like, you've already
And share.
definitely share. And I'll leave their social media handles as well. Don't stalk them, but just I really had an awesome time doing this.
Great.
And until we meet again, I love you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Cheerio.
Cheers.